What's up, everybody? So, thank you very much for tuning in. I just want to thank everybody and say you probably have a couple questions, and don't worry, I will address them right away. So you're probably wondering, why is Glen pushing another podcast on us? What happened to Davin? What happened to the last one? How the hell is his room so clean? Funny story. I'm not in my bedroom right now. I'm in Modena, Italy, on a work trip, and we got a few extra hours after dinner. The dinner ended pretty early, usually ends at like 11 p.m. Luckily we ended today about 9:30. We left, we got back to the hotel, and now I'm here. So it's awesome. My room's never this clean, so that helps me out a lot. And so that answers that question on where I'm filming from and if this is my bedroom. Now on to the others. So why I'm pushing another podcast on you guys, because I think personally this one has a lot more real content, a lot more fun. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I think now that I have the failure and lessons learned from the last one with Davin, shout out to Davin, is I can make this good, I can make this great, and with the support of everyone listening, watching on all streaming platforms and here on YouTube, we can take this somewhere and actually make a difference. And that's why I want to do it, and that's why I'm pushing the podcast on people. That's why I'm telling everyone about it. That's why when I go on trips or I make the most of opportunities and I go out and try to meet every single person possible and listen to them, ask them questions and talk, it's something that I really enjoy to do. And I think it'd be better to use my talking abilities as questioning people, and then questioning people, listening to what they have to say, and then giving that back. Just because some people aren't fortunate enough to have opportunities to go out and learn and listen to new people, doesn't mean I can't share mine. And that's what I'm here to do. Share my experience, share my lessons learned, and hopefully we can help make people's decisions just a bit easier. So with that being said, let's get to it. So the big question, everyone's probably shaking in their boots waiting to hear. What the feathers happened to Davin? What happened to the Davin and Glen show? So a lot of what happened on that show was, I think before I say that, in order to give you guys kind of the context, this is the timeline, brief timeline of what took place. So Family Day, February, whatever, it was a Monday night. We had a couple beers, a couple each, and we were yapping, just being like, dude, like, I want to do a podcast. I've always wanted to do a podcast. I've always wanted to do a podcast. I was like, hey man, whipped out my notebook and was like, how are we going to do this? Let's go. Let's see what we can do. So Davin and I tried something. We said, forget it. Tomorrow we're going to go out and buy a mic. So we got us a nice blue Yeti mic, and that is what we use for recording, for the audio, and we use my camera for the video. So we have all the equipment, we have the tripod, we have everything set up perfectly, and yeah, it was going great. We were having a lot of fun. We were just yapping about subjects, talking crap, talking about stories. Didn't really have much of a niche on it, and so there were obviously a few like minor changes that would have made a big difference. It's kind of like, I got asked a lot, what's your podcast about? And it was like, let me think about that. That's not always a good answer. You should know, especially when you're the one creating it. So that was a mistake. We failed. That's why I failed. I feel like I failed. So what happened to Davin? And what happened is, I'm leaving for the UFC fight. I get a text on the Friday night that he doesn't want to do the show anymore, that he gets bored doing it and wants to cut it to once a week. And so I was like, cool, he can cut it to once a week, because he had a lot of things going on, and for that reason I was okay with that. I was like, I get it, you're doing the editing, the least I could do is make it once a week for you. I'm still like excited about getting guests. The best part is I had a lot of guests lined up. I was ready. I had like 4 or 5 people who I don't talk to that often, and a couple people who I train with who I think would be even like cooler to talk to. So I was like, man, like this could go somewhere. I could interact and get closer and more acquainted with the people in my life already. And that was one of my main focuses for it. But with that being said, is Davin then said, no, I'm just bored with it. I'm not feeling it as much anymore. And that was fine. It was a tough pill to swallow at first, and then hashing it out with him. Speaking of which, if Davin, buddy, I appreciate you supporting me doing this, and shout out to you. Davin knows I have no issues with him about it. We've already talked about it. But if he feels me doing this is getting back at him or hurting him in any way, then you can come on and we can hash it out live. Don't worry, it won't be physical, because that's not fair to you. So yeah, that's what happened. And then we slowly brought it down, and then I would try to get a guest, but he would only be able to record once a week. And then it didn't get fun anymore, and then a lot of people were telling me that I should just do one on my own, and I didn't really want to do one right away on my own. I wasn't sure of how to go about it. So I think after we shot Neil's episode. Shout out to Neil. We shot Neil's episode, and after that, Neil and Sean and I were kind of talking a lot about, in Ottawa actually on Easter weekend, was, hey, like, dude, you should do one. Like, you contribute more. Like, you contribute more to the show than he does. No offense to him. It's like, you have more experiences to pull from. You actually want to do it, and when people see you care about something, people tend to hop on. And so with doing all that, I felt, why not? So as soon as Neil came on the show, with Neil and I talked a bit more about it. My buddy Sean and I talked about it. I talked about it with a bunch of people about it, and said, all right, here we go. And let's write as much as I can down, figure out how I'm going to do it, what the name, what my niche is, and what makes it different from everything out there. Because there's a lot of good stuff out there, and everyone seems to be listening to like similar content. Like mine would be Thomas Frank, shout out to him, who does stuff on like schooling and like successful in schooling, but that's more geared towards college. I want to focus with life after high school life after high school, that period from like halfway through or grade 12, when you have to decide what you want to do and how to make those decisions. We're going to cover what topics that we can break down in regards to how to make decisions, and big decisions, small decisions that will make a big difference. And I kind of figured that out for you, and not me alone. I use this platform here for young adults, and I bring in a guest. I'll bring in a guest whenever I can, and I'll try to make sure they're just a bit better looking than me. This way, at least you guys get something out of it. If you're just watching and you're sick of hearing my voice or looking at me, you'll at least get that. So basically the goal is to break down topics and tough decisions that as a young adult we all face, to set ourselves up for success in, well, life after high school. So thanks guys. I hope